Hi everyone, today we are going to see this particular bar chart. Bar charts, two charts are there. The bar charts below show what UK graduates, what the UK graduate and postgraduate students who did not go into full-time work did after leaving college in 2008. You can see that this is the activity of both graduates and postgraduates. A proportion of them took up full-time job. They got full-time job. So we are looking into what others did. So those who have not got full-time job, what they did in the year 2008. So the record is taken from both the graduates and the postgraduates. Now, let's see what is happening here. We can see a much similar trend in both the cases. You can say that most of the graduate students after leaving their college studied further, and most of the postgraduate students studied further. The second major proportion went to part-time work. Here also the same. Here the third major proportion remained unemployed. Here also the same. Only a few people took voluntary work. Here also the same. So the trend is very similar. The numbers differ. The numbers differ. You can say these numbers are not these numbers. But if I draw the picture, if I draw the graph, it is the same. It is the same thing. There is a very similar. The pattern of drawing is very similar. So this is what we can see. Even though the number differs in both the cases, the pattern is the same. The pattern of engagement after their course completion, it remains the same. Now let's see in detail. The status of both graduates and postgraduates after the completion of their respective courses from colleges in the UK in 2008 is depicted in the given charts. This is the introduction. The status of both graduates, what they did. So what they did after leaving their college. The status of both graduates and postgraduates after completion of their respective courses from colleges in the UK in 2008 is depicted in the given chart. There is a mistake in this particular introduction. The mistake is that I have not included this particular thing, that is full-time work. So this introduction shows that after the completion of the courses, what they did. But actually, the thing is different here, excluding full-time work. So that data is missing in this particular introduction. So this data is to be included in this particular introduction. Let's see that. How to include, where to include. The status of both graduates and postgraduates after completion of their respective courses. The status of both graduates and postgraduates except those who assumed full-time work. Okay, now let's see the status of both graduates and postgraduates except those who assume full-time work after the completion of their respective courses from colleges in the UK in 2008 is depicted in the given charts. So after the completion of their courses is added, is it needed? Why I have to write after the completion of their courses? So instead of this thing, can I write something? Let me see whether can I do that. Okay, after successfully completing their college duration in the UK in 2008 is depicted in the given charts. Okay. Okay. Now I have made little bit shorter. Overall, there were obvious similarities in the engagements after leaving their colleges. There were obvious similarities, there are clear similarities in their engagements. So what they did after this, most of the people, they did further study, then they did for a part-time job, then they have not done anything, unemployed, only a few did voluntary work. So as for the first chart, you can see the first chart. Yes, let me see the first chart. You can copy that thing here. As for the first chart, most students after completing their undergraduate courses went for higher studies. So you can say most students after completing their their graduation went for higher studies. This accounted for exactly this thing, not 29665. When compared to 2725 postgraduate who did the same, when compared to 2725 who did the same. A sizable proportion of graduates assume part-time jobs after their course completion. So this is the thing, a sizable proportion, they did part-time jobs after their course completion. When this figure was recorded at 17,735, the number of postgraduates who took up part-time work was just 2,535. Yes, I've completed this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, 4 things are over. Now I have to move to the next area. Other than going to study further and to work as a part-time employee. So excluding these two activities. So what things are excluded? Other than going to study further or doing a part-time work, a negligible number of both these qualified groups took up voluntary works. When 3,500 graduates did so, the number of master's holders who followed the same was just 345. Okay. Now we have just this thing to be explored. It is to be noted that a considerable number of candidates remained unemployed from both groups. A considerable number remained unemployed in both groups. This. Of the total 17,860. So this and this, it goes to 17,860. This is the total of this thing and this thing. Of the thing, 16,235 completed their undergraduate courses. It means this group is clear. Okay. While the rest did post-graduation, So we have completed the task. So we have seen a clear-cut introduction. Here it is, introduction, overview, and 3 paragraphs. Okay. So the total word count is around 175. Thank you.